Hey folks, in this video we are going to go over equal loudness contour and how it's applied in GetSpectrumDataHelper. So here we have our example scene open. We've got the script here on this game object, and you see here in the output you have the option to either use it or not. If you reset the values to default, it'll turn it back on. It's on by default. If you delete all these keyframes accidentally, the script will detect there's no keyframes and just automatically make sure that this has no effect. But if you want to get those keyframes back, you can go to the settings icon, go to the GSDH equal loudness contour presets, and then you can click on this little preset here and get it back. You can hit F to frame it and make sure everything's there. Those presets live in this file right here in the GetSpectrumDataHelper package. It's in the editor folder, if you were curious. So that's where it is in the script. So now, as far as what it does, let's talk about that real quick. So you may have seen these kind of images before, equal loudness contour curves. There's a whole bunch of them online. So what are these curves? This is from studies done where a bunch of human subjects were asked, were played a tone, a sound at different frequencies, and they were asked to, say, make the sound go louder and louder till it's as loud as the previous sound, essentially, something like that. So, and what the people doing the research discovered is that the human ear is more sensitive or less sensitive to different frequencies. So for example, if we follow this middle line here, this is how loud a tone had to be played at different frequencies for it to be perceived by the subject as though it were 60 decibels. So for instance, tones in the bass area, 0 to 100, and a little up from there, had to be played louder, right? So up to 100 decibels to be perceived to be the same volume as, say, a tone at 1,000 hertz being played at 60. Then, for example, tones that were in this range, which probably like 5,000 hertz or something, could be played quieter and still be perceived as loud as the tone at 1,000 hertz. So different frequencies, our ears have different sensibilities. So you can, like, physically, the amount of power, or voltage or air pressure, whatever's driving the sound, can be of varying intensities, and still match and still, and will still sound like they're the same intensity to our ear, because we have different sensitivities to different frequencies. I hope I explained that well. So how does that apply to our audio visualizations? Well, maybe we have get spectrum data is, let's say it's analyzing some bass frequencies. Those frequencies may sound not that loud to our ear, but the actual output they have, the voltage in the case of get spectrum data, will be maybe higher than what we perceive it to be. So this is kind of like an extra, and same thing with maybe some other other frequencies. This is just another layer of calibration. What it's doing under the hood is essentially the output gets kind of divided by this graph. So bass return will go down a little bit, and some of the mids will go up, and et cetera, et cetera. You can turn it off to or turn it on It's a subtle calibration. It doesn't have a huge effect, um, but it's there, and it does its job. So I recommend leaving it on. And yeah, so hopefully this video was helpful and a little bit educational. Thanks again for purchasing this asset, and I hope you're having fun with it. Catch you in the next video. Thanks.